The real reason Ben Simmons won't play. The 2022 playoff matchup between the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics was supposed to be one of the biggest games of round one in the playoffs. However, it turned out to be a shocker to the star-studded Nets. In Game 4 of the series, the Brooklyn Nets were about to get swept after already losing the first 3 games of the playoffs, and with their chances of even getting a comeback getting slim, there were rumors that the newly acquired point guard Ben Simmons was going to finally make his debut and help the Brooklyn Nets record their first win of the series. Ben Simmons eventually didn't play the game, leaving many fans of the NBA to wonder if the Brooklyn Nets could have stood a chance if he played. Also, more importantly, they wondered why he won't play. In today's video, we will be discussing Ben Simmons and why he hasn't played the game of basketball in 11 months. Let's go! Ben Simmons, born in Melbourne, Australia, was considered a 5-star recruit by ESPN and regarded as a #1 power forward and the #1 player in America. This was after he came over from Australia to play for Montverde Academy early in his high school career. He led Montverde Academy to a 3rd consecutive high school national tournament title. He later committed to LSU to play college basketball and was even compared to LeBron James by Hall of Famer Magic Johnson. He spent a season with the LSU Tigers and was named the SEC Freshman of the Year and first-team All-SEC Southeastern Conference. In what was called the process, the Philadelphia 76ers purposefully lost games to position themselves to collect many first-round draft picks to build a championship-level team, and interestingly, one of the players drafted was their 2016 first overall pick, Ben Simmons. He was drafted by the Sixers despite never playing in the NCAA tournament. However, he couldn't play in the 2016-2017 season because he broke his foot during the Sixers' final training. He, however, went on to be Rookie of the Year in his debut season, recording 15.8 points, 8.2 assists, and 8.1 rebounds per game for the Philadelphia 76ers. He was also named to the NBA All-Rookie First Team for the 2017-2018 season. In his sophomore year, Ben Simmons suffered a knee injury and missed the playoffs, but in that season, he became the fastest player in NBA history after Oscar Robertson with 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 1,000 assists. And in case you didn't know, he did it in 125 games. He is a 3-time NBA All-Star, a 2-time NBA All-Defensive First Team, and NBA steals leader in the 2019-2020 season. Ben Simmons' talent has never been called into question, but his attitude and character have oftentimes made him come under fire. Before joining the league, former NBA general manager Stu Jackson wasn't impressed with Ben Simmons' attitude. He said, "There's just something about the way Simmons has handled himself or been handled by his camp that gives me a little bit of cause for pause. Just in terms of whether mentally and personally he's ready to make this jump to the NBA level. His body language at times bothers me." He continues, "There's just some personal characteristics with which he portrays himself and performs that just gave me a reason to be a little bit hesitant about taking him #1. Also, during the 2016 pre-draft process, some analysts and an NBA scouting report questioned his competitiveness. Simmons' lack of competitiveness in some crucial games has raised questions about his character as a basketball player. Those who know him best say he needs things to resolve around him on and off the court and that he's often been closed-minded to coaching or instruction. A more recent incident in the 2020-21 season when he refused to play for the Philadelphia 76ers, resulting him in being the most fined player in NBA history. The problem started in the Philadelphia 76ers Game 7 loss in the 2021 Eastern Conference semifinals to the Atlanta Hawks, when Ben Simmons was criticized for his poor performance and for passing a wide-open dunk that could have changed the game in the Sixers' favor. More so, Ben Simmons only attempted 3 fourth-quarter shots throughout the 7-game series. The performance got him criticized by teammate Joel Embiid and head coach Doc Rivers. And in response to the criticism, he tried to force a trade out of the Sixers by missing training camp and preseason games. He later returned to the squad in October 2021, but was thrown out of practice by head coach Doc Rivers after he repeatedly refused to substitute in a drill. He, however, cited the reason for his absence to be a mental health issue and subsequently didn't play any NBA games in the 2021-22 season for the Philadelphia 76ers. He finally got his wish and was later traded to the Brooklyn Nets in a deal that saw James Harden join the Sixers in exchange for Simmons, Seth Curry, and Andre Drummond. Many expected that he would finally play and join Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on the court. However, he was ruled out of the remainder of the regular season and the play-in tournament after he suffered a back injury. Steve Nash, however, had hoped for Ben Simmons' return but wasn't 100% certain he would be back for them. There's a chance Ben comes back, there's a chance he doesn't come back. So for us, we gotta focus on the group, support Ben in his journey to get back on the floor. But at the same time, we don't have time to lose focus on the group that's playing. And while the Brooklyn Nets qualified for the playoffs without Ben Simmons, many fans of the NBA expected Ben Simmons to finally make his debut for the Nets against the Boston Celtics. But he didn't, as he decided not to play last minute, claiming that he suffered from a mental block that triggered his back problems. Head coach Steve Nash expressed his disappointment while talking with some reporters before the Game 4 matchup with the Boston Celtics. "Of course we're all disappointed," Nash said. "We'd love to see Ben on the floor with our teammates, but I don't want it to be taken that I'm disappointed in Ben. His back is his back." The big question of why Ben Simmons can't play might be something only he can answer, given that while his reasons were maybe injury-related, his records of indiscipline are not being ruled out too. As a point guard, it's pretty strange that Ben Simmons is a terrible shooter, but he is no doubt an excellent and versatile defender. And the Nets needed all the talents they had for the Game 4 match with the Celtics, and having Ben Simmons ready could have helped turn the series around for the Nets. And yet, he didn't play. With the Brooklyn Nets having to pay the 25-year-old Simmons a little over $110 million over the next 3 seasons, the situation of things is disappointing to the Brooklyn Nets management. And according to ESPN, it looks like the Brooklyn Nets management's patience is wearing thin. The people involved here are exasperated by this saga because that is what it is. Several sports analysts and former NBA players have come out to voice their concerns about why Ben Simmons won't play, and a notable mention are the NBA and TNT duo Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley. Shaq describes Ben Simmons' sudden change in mind not to play in Game 4 as a punk move, and Barkley went ahead to agree with Shaq and further said, "I don't care about the fans. Let me tell you something, when the players don't respect you, that's a big deal. When the players say, we can't count on this dude, Ben is getting to the point now where his teammates are like, does this dude even want to play basketball? It clearly happened in Philly, and now it's happening in Brooklyn." Another NBA legend, Reggie Miller, was shocked about the turnaround and blasted Simmons for his absence. He tweeted, "Come on, man, out for Game 4 when it's rumored you were going to make your debut? This dude is zero competitive. A small chance as the Nets have to come back in this series, you still have KD and Kyrie. All you need is to win one game and take it from there. Hashtag man up." Another person who has come out to express his disappointment is ESPN sports analyst Stephen A. Smith, who has never been shy to say his feelings, said, "I feel bad for anyone who was his teammate," Smith said on ESPN. "He quit on LSU, he quit on the Philadelphia 76ers, and how he ain't showing up for the Brooklyn Nets. We can point to all the excuses, all the rationale behind it that we want to. I do recall that despite him not playing, he still filed a grievance to collect $20 million that he has not earned. This is one of the most pathetic situations that I've ever seen in my life." Despite his ordeal so far and the eventual elimination of the Brooklyn Nets, several people have surprisingly come to defend the Ben Simmons situation. Oscar-winning actor Jamie Foxx was one of them, defending him based on Stephen A. Smith's takes on him. "That's completely unfair," Foxx said of Smith's statement. "Ben Simmons has a family. This man has people that love him, and this man just plays basketball, but to be dragged through the mud like that, this is unfair." Head coach Steve Nash also voiced his support for Ben Simmons, speaking after their elimination from the playoff. "I think Ben has addressed that there is a mental component with what he's going through. But how much and where he's at with that is not for me to speak about. But as far as an organization, we're really pushing to support Ben in any way we can to help him improve physically and get back on the court, and the mental side of that is part and parcel. They're not separate. They're not something we don't want to deal with. We want to help people if he needs help in any aspect of his life and his game. He is a cornerstone, so we want to help him feel great, play great, and become part of this team." Ben Simmons hasn't played a game of basketball in almost 11 months, and no one knows when he might even get to play, leaving many to wonder if it's an injury problem or a mental problem. Has he lost his confidence, or has he entirely given up on basketball? Tell us what you think in the comments section. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember to hit the like button, share and subscribe, as you don't want to miss out on exciting NBA scoop.